Hey there, you are watching New Vision TV News around Uganda. I am Ruthie Naseje, and we start off with the news around Uganda. Starting off is a story from Kampala, where the Minister for Youth, Nakiwala Kiyingi, has ordered Fresh Kid, a talented young musician, to return to school. Now, the minister also warned that the country's laws prohibit child labor, and anybody or even anyone who hires out a venue that will host the 7-year-old kids concert, or any person who hires Fresh Kid, or any reveler found watching or enjoying Fresh Kid's performance, or any sponsor who will be arrested and charged in the courts of law. Now, to help us make sense of this is New Vision Education Editor Conan Businge. Conan, where does the minister's decision to stop Fresh Kid from going on with his music leave the development of his career?
I think it is just a not even but an extremely uninformed decision, from the basis that as a minister she feels she's doing the right thing by what the law says because of the circumstances within which the boy is in. But the reality is that's not the right thing for the child. What it entails is that as a child, when you're growing up, education system probably doesn't give children enough time to be able to express themselves and tap into their talent to be able to develop their own skills. If you look at the time allocated to formal education vis-a-vis the time you actually need to put to develop a child's skills or talent, is actually very limited. So I think it shouldn't be just a mandatory report to school, go back to school. It should be when I go back to school, or when he goes back to school, how does he get to develop his talent alongside the formal education? Because a blunt go back to school can be the end of his career, or the end of his dream talent. Yes, actually. And that's the biggest mistake most parents do, because we always think formal education is the answer to everything. And that's why guys in other countries abroad actually beat us, because they look at much more than formal education for the development of someone's future or career.
Okay. And the education system here, what does it say about a child 7 years old as he is, and the moment he has taken on to get into developing himself?
Yeah, my policy is that we have co-curricular activities. That is something you need to do much more than or outside the classroom. This could include things like handwork, could include things like soccer or music, sports, and the rest. And music, I would say, well, there's music at school. The question is, what do you offer at school that actually counts or builds such a kind of child? Because you see, this kid is not like any other kid. If you look at the skills he has, it will be exactly like any other person watching. If you have a kid at home, it will be exactly the same skills your child has. So it's all about what he has and how you can help him develop that. So if you look at our co-curricular activities, you find there is little time allocated to really developing talent. And even when developing talent, how many schools have good drums to play, a good piano to try on, a good guitar to try on, or anything in music that you can try on your voice and everything if you're developing your talent? Very limited schools actually have that kind of opportunity, and you only probably find that in international schools and a few local schools. So if you are a school and you have such a child, you need to really pay special attention. So if you just tell him bluntly, go back to school, you're actually telling him, go shut down your talent and focus on what we've set for you. By the way, our curriculum is not completely bad. The problem is how we get to teach the children using our curriculum. A smart teacher can make a very good product out of our curriculum. The question is, how many of the smart teachers have you seen out of 10 that get to do that in this country?
How does the Ugandan law handle such a child, 7 years old, and also the fact that he's now someone working? How does the Ugandan law handle such a 7-year-old?
First of all, it's illegal for him even to be working. That's child labor. And if you're below 18, by the Constitution of Uganda, Article 29 doesn't actually allow you to really be working. Such a child, anyone who profiteers or anyone who helps him profiteer below age like that of any of his skills or energy or anything, it's a mistake and it's extremely illegal. Actually, under normal circumstances, whoever is hiring this kid should actually be arrested and tried. What has to happen for such a kid is that he deserves to get rewarded for what he does. If he presents like on your birthday, you can reward him, but there should be no negotiation for his payment. There shouldn't be any transaction that is official transaction. And you can reward a child in any way, it doesn't necessarily have to be money. Because you need to inspire the kid to actually keep singing and seeing this as something that can transform his life. If you keep singing and you look at him and say, yeah, I see you, he looks like he doesn't see value in this. So at the end of the day, really true, he needs to really sing. If he was my son, I would love to see him on stage singing all the time. I would love him to be at various events singing. The question is that there should be an adult watching him. An adult who takes care of his being on the show, on his being outside at night or even daytime in such good number of people, I mean big numbers of people. Someone who really manages his life. A manager not who profiteers or makes money out of the child's skill, but a manager who helps the child learn. The biggest problem with our education system is that no one really helps a child. You'd have something like homeschooling and have more adequate time to do try out his music talent. But the question, depending on his parents, depending on where he comes from and how people appreciate what he's doing, some people might think he's just a wasted kid to really be, seriously, to be actually doing what he's doing, which is a mistake. A serious parent and a reasonable parent or any reasonable government official would help this child develop his talent alongside him staying in school.
Yes,
it does not
from here. What does he gain if he stops whatever he's doing right now, singing, and then goes to school and joins the other 8 million children who are already in school?
Here is a big mistake for him because in life you do what you love most. I'm partly here because I love journalism at heart, not because I actually want money. I'll tell you something, what I get paid is not what I really desire to get, but the question is, I still my job because I love my job. In most of our people, like if you hire someone who doesn't love what he or she is doing and is only looking at money, the question, such people will never be successful and never get to do for you what you want. The reality is that people should love what they do, and when you love what you do, you are going to succeed amidst all the challenges. And because there are so many setbacks in life. So this kid, if he just drops what he loves most, stays in school, he will even get a first-class degree. The question is, you hire him here as a journalist. The question is, what is he going to offer you? He's going to write stories for you, and deep inside him, he doesn't actually want to write stories. He loves singing. He wants to be on stage. He wants to create. He wants to be coming up with something new, and that's not exactly what he's doing. So he can succeed. He can be whatever he wants in the academic area, but the reality, if this is not what he wants at heart, he will never succeed in whatever he's doing. So the smarter thing is to,
Okay. So how will the abrupt, ending of his music career affect the talented children who have been watching him for the last few months he has been on the airwaves? I'm actually troubled by the minister's decision. Much as I see her logic, I just don't understand what she's trying to say. Because you saying no more music, go back to class. How many other kids has she stopped? Is he the first kid that has been singing? No. How have they handled the other kids who are in school and they're also singing? So the thing is that it is good for her to encourage the boy to go back. She should have actually encouraged the boy to go back to school, but at the same time, maintained that a child has an opportunity to do what he's doing. Any responsible minister in this country, or any other official parent, or anyone watching this show, should understand if you find such unique people, all they need in life is to be supported to achieve what they can, because there are going to be very few people of his kind in life. So if you meet him or her and a child like that and is very good, support him, give him the support he needs. Yeah. But also make sure he stays in school, because the other question should have been, what is he likely to lose if he stays singing and doesn't go to school? The reality is, he's going to be a very talented guy, but with inadequacies on expressing himself. Because it's education, a bit about education. If it's good education, it's supposed to open up your mind to look at things in a different way.
That is why you find a diploma holder, a master's holder, and a bachelor's holder, and a PhD holder, they never reason the same way.
Definitely.
Even if they're all CEOs of media houses, the way they perceive things is going to be different. That is why this child, he'll be like any other talented musician. But the way he perceives things compared to someone who has gone to school is going to be different. So it is good for him to stay in school, but they should never shut down his talent.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so
That's been
much.
a pleasure.
It was a pleasure also talking to you about this.
Passion and talent seem to be similar, but how best can you mold, protect, and also nurture them so that you have something that you can present in society? Education is always the key to success, and I think Fresh Kid is something that he needs to, together with his parents and managers, it is something that he needs to tap into so that he can build his music career and becomes the best kid on the block, I should say.